Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. Behind me I have a beautiful 2023 GMC Sierra 3500 SLT. Now this truck, despite it being a lower trim level, has a ton of features. And we're gonna go through it in this video. As you know, I always show you the interior and exterior, and I always show you the payload at the end. So let's jump into this review. Special shout out to Jerry Seiner Buick GMC in South Jordan, Utah. Be sure to give these guys a look up and ask for Francisco if you are in the market for a Buick or GMC or used car. I would like to note that this is my first time ever doing a video on a GMC dually. Now, because this is an SLT, this is a slightly lower trim level than like the Denali, and you're gonna have a little bit more payload on this type of truck. But I like the fact that it looks luxurious. It has a chrome bumper, which doesn't look that bad with this build. Headlights are going to be standard with LED. Same goes for the turn signals and the LED fog lights down below. They do have vertical tow hooks, as you can see, and a really bold front grille. It looks really open, and it really does make this truck look really classy. If you take your view up to the top, this hood is very aggressive. It does have a hood scoop, and we'll talk more about that here in a second. But I like the lines. This looks really, really upscale. I love the fact, too, this is something that I would like to see from Ram. And they're doing it from the factory. They give you a nice tire. Michelin tires, 235/80/17. And let's take a look at the capacities for this tire. It's right down here. So you're gonna have 3,085 pounds of capacity at 80 PSIs. They do give you a independent front suspension too, so this is gonna reduce your weight, and it should give you a better turning radius too. If I didn't mention it yet, this one was equipped with the Duramax diesel. They do provide turn signals and LED lights for the front, and you do have some for your trailer for reversing. On the door handles, they do give you smart key, and this one does have a fixed running board. And just take note of the chrome around the windows too. Now this one obviously has an 8-foot bed. They provide the steps for the front and rear. I can't remember what size fuel tank this truck has, but it's gonna have a 7-gallon DEF, and I think if it's the same as mine, it should be 36 gallons, but I'll clarify that here in the video. Typically the dualies get a slightly bigger fuel tank, or at least it's optional with that too. Now out back, look at these concave wheels. They look great on this truck. Now sometimes the capacity for the tires are a little bit different, and as you can see, for dual load, it's going to be 2,835 pounds at 80 PSI. So just keep that in mind too when you're swapping for tires. But because this is a dually, you do have 3 overload leaf springs. A 3500 single rear wheel will have 2. And if you get a 2500, it'll have none of these. Love the fact that they give that to you too. It just shows that it has a more robust suspension over the single rear counterparts. And something a lot of people do like about the GMCs is this tailgate. I'm a fan too, I gotta admit, and it just provides a step inside the bed, especially if you're living older or if your lady needs to get back here. This makes life a little bit easier for them. As far as this one, it was optional with the 5th wheel prep package, so you're gonna have the 4 7-pin plug right there. And I wonder too, they did move this 5th wheel prep package behind the axle. I'm not sure if they did the same with the dualies, or the long beds I should say. So let me know in the comment section if that's the case, because I think that it looks like it's over the axle here. This one does have a bed camera, as you can see, and if you did have to hook up at night, they do provide lights on both sides and above too. One last thing, they do provide a 120 volt plug, 400 watts out back. And they do have optional camera inputs for your trailer, an additional 7-pin down below. This is gonna be a class 5 receiving hitch. This is gonna have a 2.5-inch opening. And if you don't know, diesel option trucks have a 342 rear axle. And just check out this pretty white paint and the shade on this side. It looks really good. I'm a huge fan of white, especially for a big truck like this, because if you need to run it through a car wash, it's not going to show swirls. Now let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. So this truck is equipped with the optional Duramax. You can get a gas engine in this configuration. However, this is going to give you 445 horsepower, 910 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a Allison. For 2024, they are updating the power in this truck. So you're going to get a little bit more low-end torque. And while we're talking about torque, I like the way GMC does their trucks. This truck has all the power. There's no torque management. And you really do feel that torque management in the Ram, especially with the Eisen transmission. You can kind of feel it on the Ford, depending on how you have it set up. I do personally think that GMC is doing it the best because of how they have this configuration, because even though they don't have the power numbers, they have the reliability without the extra power. Inside the interior, you do have a lot of soft touch, seat memories, and I like the fact that you can adjust the mirrors by power. You have automatic up and down for the front windows, and then auto down, but you do have to hold it back up. A little bit of storage in the door here, and then this one being an SLT, you still have a power seat on this side. Heated and cool seats are on this package too. Telescoping steering wheel, this is something that Ram needs to step up on too. This does have that standard with the GMC Sierra. Electronic parking brake, your lighting controls. It's gonna be for your fog lights, your bed lights. And as I mentioned, there's some lights on the front of the mirror. That's this button right here. You do have automatic four-wheel drive. None of the competitors use this on the HD segment. Tow haul mode, and then some other driving modes there. They do provide a way to change the stations on the back of the steering wheel. And then on the right side, you can turn the volume up. I do believe that GM has the largest cab over Ford and Ram in terms of space. Now, let's go ahead and start this bad boy up. Just have push button start. Even though this interior is really basic, some people who are using these trucks for the purpose don't really care about that. So I think that's why this is the best buy right now, because of the price point. Now, as far as some of your information in here goes, you do have a trip 1 and trip 2. Shows you your fuel range, oil life. Love that it gives you the tire pressure for all 6 tires. And a few other informations in here too. DEF level, and then the info page. Then you have your audio, navigation, phone. Your shifter, love the column shifter. They do put the gear limiter on here too. And it's really easy to use. All you have to do is just push it down, and then you'll see the L on that side. Now, I showed you some of the driving modes here. I'm gonna turn it counterclockwise. As you can see, your tow haul mode comes on there. And then you do have a normal and off-road setting for this too. As far as this screen goes, it's the 8-inch display. Pretty easy. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is wireless too. They do a great job with their trailering and setting this up. If you do have a Keystone product, or if your RV has In Command, you could actually hook this up to your trailer, which is something I have to actually do on mine. I haven't had a chance to do it yet. And there's just a lot of information too. I like that they give you a split screen. And there's just a ton of stuff that you can look at. One thing that they do well too is the cameras. This doesn't have the 360 camera, but it does have the bed view, hitch view, and you have those optional inputs here for your inside or outside of your trailer. Down below, audio controls are right here. Dual climate control, heated and ventilated seats for driver and passenger. Exhaust brake, you can drop the tailgate from inside. Cautions, stability control, traction control. And if you want to power the plug in the rear, you have to push this button here. You do have a really nice function here for your trailer brake. USBs, power plug, and an additional one inside too. There isn't a wireless charge, but that may be available for the SLT, so just be sure you package it that way. But you have a bunch of USB, so you don't really necessarily need it. Nice storage in the center console. And I didn't show you, but you do have your cup holders right here. And above, you can slide that rear glass. And I like that they give you standard LED lights in the interior. HomeLink, and they do provide lights for your vanity. Let's see if they do it on this side. They do. Down below, decent storage here. And let's go on this side for the passenger so we can see if this is a power seat. So you are in luck. Power seats on both sides. That's a great feature to have. Now out back, you do have a 60/40 bench and storage below. One thing I would like to see from GMC is giving this a flat floor surface. This cab is pretty darn big, so if you do have a large dog, you could have them sit on that side. I always mention that because I have friends who have big dogs and they have one kid sit here while the dog can be comfortable on that side. Storage in the back seat, in the rear here, and they do that on both sides. And cup holders. Heated seats for the outboard, 2 more USBs, and a power plug, and more vents to keep people comfortable. Before I show you the payload, here's the window sticker for the truck. So this is going to affect your payload based off the option. So the SLT, here's the color for it, and then this one was optioned with the Duramax diesel. Now here's a quick listing of some of the standard equipment. I did get this off of Jerry Seiner's website too. And as you can see, the base price is $63,300. And then here's some of the features on this truck. So it has that diesel, as I mentioned, and then they give you 3 years OnStar for $1,500. SLD convenience package is $1,445, and then Gooseneck fifth wheel was $1,340. And here's everything that comes with that. Chrome assist steps for $795. Trailer tire pressure is $50. And here's a few more things that were listed on this window sticker. So the truck has basically $15,000 in options. Total price with destination at $1,795 is $80,115. So this is why you buy a dually. If you look at the front gross axle weight rating, it's going to be 6,000 pounds. The rear is going to be 10,500 pounds. Rams is 9,750, I believe it is. Gross vehicle weight rating is going to be 14,000 pounds. Gross combined weight rating is going to be 40,000 pounds. Curb weight is 8,696 pounds. You also have a max payload of 5,304 pounds. Conventional towing is 20,000 with a 2,000 pound tongue weight, and that's just an estimate. Gooseneck trailer is going to be 31,100 with an estimated 4,665 pounds of tongue weight. Now the reason why I say estimated, if you have 4,000 pounds of equipment on this truck, you can't tow more. You can't exceed 14,000 pounds. But 5,300 pounds of payload capacity is huge. That is a huge number. I always like to show this sticker too because it does show you your tire pressure if you'd like to see that. So special shout out to Jerry Seiner for allowing me to do this video, as I mentioned. If you would like to see another video, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be comparing this to the F450. So we'll see just how much better it is. Stay tuned.